is the Next Level Loan Officers podcast. To learn more about Next Level Loan Officers, go to becomenl.com.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Next Level Loan Officers podcast. This is your podcast. We do this for you. And by the way, this is the #1 podcast for loan officers by loan officers anywhere. Anywhere. Like, not just on Jupiter, not on Mars, planet Earth, anywhere. So, we've been breaking down a 6-part series on our 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 strategy. And this is going to be step 3. This is going to be where we're talking about having 3 conversations a day, making your business more successful. And I'm joined by the one, the only, the master of the conversation, Kellen and Sean. Kellen, what's up, dude?
Well,
wow, they are excited to hear you today.
Gosh, listen, no need for all that fanfare. But listen, Sean, I love this topic. I mean, this is, so cool. And so, for those of you that have been along the journey for all of these parts, we're about halfway through at this point. What's so cool about this, if you've listened already, you've heard us talk about it. If you're just jumping in on this one, know that this is a 6-part series and you're coming in right in the middle. So go back to Spotify or Apple Podcasts or wherever you get your podcast from and join us from the start, because it's a journey. But what I love about this, man, is the simplicity of this whole thing, right? And you and I have coached loan officers for a long time. And I'll tell you that the ones who do 2 things, the ones who keep it simple and the ones who keep it consistent, the second part being the big driver there, those are the loan officers that see the tremendous growth, and see wild success. I think a lot of times people overcomplicate the process. They do the process for a little bit and they don't see results. And so the challenge here is, listen, this is simple, super simple. Be consistent with it, execute it at a high level, and I promise you'll see results. So I'm excited about this. And today's number 3, the conversations, or 3 conversations, is probably one of my most favorite of all of the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 strategy.
It is, because like everybody's favorite subject is themselves, and we'd like to hear ourselves talk. And then when you figure out what you're good at, what you like to do, and what you like to present on, then you refine that conversation down. And so it's a variation of the same conversations that you have over and over again. But then all of a sudden, when you're having them with a realtor, with a borrower, with other referral sources, you all of a sudden sound like a very, very eloquent speaker in your words and how you're putting it together. Like, for me, I talk a lot about our seller guarantee. I talk a lot about what I bring to the table for realtors, and they make more money in less time because of how I get their offers accepted. And with borrowers, like, man, if you know me, I love numbers, and I love showing people how great you've got 20% to put down, but you should put down 5, and you should invest this other 15% in the stock market, buy a simple SPY index fund. And by the way, you're going to have like 4 times the amount you paid for your house in 30 years if you do this strategy. And you'll make your kids name their grandchildren after me, because you're going to have an extra couple $1 million if you listen to what I say and do. Right. And so, like, when you probably heard it in there, like there's a different tone in my voice when I talk about that, because I get really passionate about it. Like, if I can help somebody secure their financial future and make them think about money differently, you know what I did? I just did something this piece of technology, this phone that I'm holding up right here, can't do. That's not push button mortgage.
Right. That's exactly right. That's 100%, and so let's break this down real quick, right? Because I think actually what you just said is a really powerful way to frame up a conversation. I think, Sean, if I'm speculating here, right? Well, let's break it down real quick. So this is 3 conversations. So what does that mean? Let's start with that, right? So this is 3 meaningful conversations with people every day. Now, does this have to be realtors? Absolutely not. It can be. It could be realtors, it could be financial planners, it could be divorce attorneys, it could be insurance agents, it could be past clients, it could be listing agents, it could be potential clients, right? We're just asking for 3 meaningful conversations. And
Kellen,
we go ahead.
I'm sorry. So I want you to keep going, but I want to talk about what a meaningful conversation is
Perfect.
not.
Okay,
A
good.
meaningful conversation is not, hey, Bob, we didn't have every signature on that page of the contract. Can you send it over to me? Hey,
Right.
hey, title company, we need this. Hey, Mr. Appraiser, we need this update. Like, those are not meaningful conversation. These are conversations about moving the needle in your business, about getting more business and presenting yourself to an audience, which could be just an audience of one that moves the needle in your business. So
Right.
I'm sorry. Go on.
No, I think that was great. And I think I would go farther to say, like, 3 conversations shouldn't be to anybody you have a current dealing with, right? Because if you think about the real heart behind this 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 is really to generate future business consistently. Deals you already have, those deals are baked, right? They're already working. We're not concerned about them. We're concerned about getting them across the finish line. We're not concerned about prospecting for them. Now, the exception to that, and again, I'm giving you guys the heart behind it, and everybody can take this as they want. Having one of your meaningful conversations during the day being a listing agent on a deal that you're doing, yes, that's a meaningful conversation that's going to lead to future business. So there isn't anything that's like set in stone, but just understand what the point of this is. And again, these conversations are designed to transact or translate into future business, right? So if I call a financial planner, I'll give you a great example, Sean. So I do that. You and I have been doing this for a while. Like last week, I had a meaningful conversation. I called my financial planner, right? So a guy who's actually in the same office complex as me. He's just right down the street. And I could have said, hey, man, how are we looking? How's my stuff doing? Blah, 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 and called that a meaningful conversation. But what I did instead was I said, hey, I'd like to partner with you to offer your services to my clients as an add-on. I have a lot of first-time home buyers. I have a lot of people who are just now maybe starting a career and they're earning real dollars, and they're having kids, they're buying homes, they're making plans, and they need advice in a lot of areas. And I asked him though, I said, if we could work something out, do you think you have clients that would benefit from my services as well? He was like, oh my gosh, yes, absolutely. Like, we've been friends for a while and we've been working together for a while, but never has it really pivoted into this type of relationship. So I think that's really important. And again, that would be a meaningful conversation that is now going to spawn future business potentially for both of us. So again, that's what we're doing. We're planting seeds through these conversations for future business.
Yeah, I had another one actually. I went out to coffee with a financial planner known since college a couple weeks ago, and I had somebody who called me yesterday. They're doing like a little over $1 million purchase, only want to put down 150K, but they have a lot of assets, and they're willing to look at a new relationship with those assets. And so he happens to work at JP Morgan. No, he works at Morgan Stanley. Anyway, like he was saying, hey, if somebody has X amount of assets, like, we can crush everybody. I mean, he's like a point lower than Kellen, you and I are on a conventional loan, on a jumbo loan, looking at
Right.
like that with no mortgage insurance.
Right.
And if anybody shops us on a jumbo loan like that, we're going to lose anyway,
Yeah.
if they know where to shop. So called them up, sent him that referral yesterday, called me back, said, it was a great deal, and was like, hey man, thank you so much. This is exactly what I was talking about. And now I know that he's going to be looking for those conventional loans, those VA loans, those other people.
Right.
That's not their wheelhouse inside of there.
That's right.
There is also something else. Hey guys, if you are not part of our community yet, go to becomemnl.com. It's free. You can access us on the web. You can access us on our own customized app for yourself. You get it all for free. And so somebody just actually posted in community the other day, and they were like, I'm going to financial planners, but like, what do I have?
Mm.
And if you do not work at a brick and mortar bank, what you have, we had this whole conversation and thread there, is you just sell mortgages. You're not going to try to sell them on an IRA or take their assets over to the bank. So as a retail lender, a broker, anyone who doesn't sell financial securities products, you have a ton to offer a financial planner because you're only going to offer them one thing. And if you save them money, if you help them in whatever way, you're sending them right back to that financial planner.
Well, that's it. And again, I look at it, really as a holistic approach in a lot of ways. And this isn't really the topic of this particular conversation, but it's a good reminder of who to have conversations with. But you should have in your back pocket a great family planning attorney, a great divorce attorney, an insurance agent, a financial planner, several of them, CPAs. These are people who, again, you should just have ready to go to hand out to anybody. Because again, part of what we talk about, Sean, so much is, listen, we want to be the hub, the financial hub in our borrower's life, right? Like we want them to come to us when they have questions about anything financial, right? Because a lot of those we can solve with structured debt. So anyway, that's a whole different conversation, but this is all part of the 3 conversations. And again, these could be past clients. Maybe you're reaching out to past clients and you're talking about a mortgage review. And maybe somebody, as we continue to watch the news, people, credit card debt is rising, savings accounts are diminishing. And so maybe you're talking about a cash out refinance with somebody to restructure some debt. Maybe they need the services of a financial planner, and maybe it's not an immediate deal for you, but again, to your point, you dole that lead out to somebody else. That's going to plant a seed that's going to come back to you at some point. And that's what we're doing. We do, Sean, as you know, we do these 90-day coaching seasons with our members. And we have a group right now going called Elevate 90. And one of the people in my group, a guy named Nate out of Florida, just killing it. Dude, he's crushing. So like we get on our call and everybody's kind of talking about their pipeline. And listen, everybody who's been through our program is seeing growth in their pipeline, which is really exciting. But Nate is seeing like exponential growth. Like he told us last Thursday when we had our coaching call that he has 23 deals currently active in his pipeline, which is phenomenal. That's right. If you're in this market right now, everybody's wishing they had 23 deals in their pipeline. So phenomenal job, and a big shout out to Nate. I just lost the light there, but we'll keep going. And a big shout out to Nate. So, the reality is like what he's done and what he says he attributes to his success is conversations. And he's like, dude, I didn't know any different. I just went out and had as many conversations as I could with people. Now, here's what he said too. He's like, it didn't happen overnight. I started these conversations in January and February, and I'm now over the last 30 to 60 days seeing the reward. It's kind of like we talked about in our group. You can't go out and plant a seed in the ground today, water it, and come back tomorrow and expect to have a bean sprout, right? It takes time. You have to water it. You have to continually do it. You have to take care of it, and eventually you can reap what you sow. But big shout out to Nate, because he's done this 3 conversations a day, maybe more, and now he has 23 deals in his pipeline.
Yeah, I mean, I started originating loans and getting out of management and doing what I liked again. I mean, it took I was closing a deal this month, 2 deals that month, but I kept having the conversations. I kept going out, and now I'm closing a lot more business a month than most of the loan officers are, and I've done it in way less than a year. And so like it's just powerful to talk to people. We did we kind of broke down some math, and every conversation you have, depending if you're average to great, is worth somewhere between $100 and $400 a conversation.
Yep.
So you go talk to 20 people and you're going to make somewhere between $2,000 and $8,000. Now, the question you have to ask yourself, get your pen out and write this down. Few simple words. Is this a proactive sales effort?
Yep.
And so that's going to help you judge, hey man, I need this contract update, to, hey, Mr. Realtor, it's been a great transaction, and I really like how your team's worked the listing side of this. I would love to sit down, have some coffee with you. There's some things that I can do to benefit your business, and I would like to see how I can help move the needle and if we're fit to work together.
That's it.
That's a proactive conversation.
That's it. And so let's circle back. Like let's bring this full circle, Sean.
Yep.
So at the very beginning, you were talking about your value proposition, right? Because I think, obviously the majority of phone calls these loan officers are going to make are to realtors, as they should be.
Amen.
And I think one of the biggest challenges that people have is back to your point. I don't know what to say. I don't know what my value proposition is. Well, listen, that's the first thing you've got to figure out. And for some of you, it may be a system, a process, a loan product, right? Think about all the things that your company is really great at and that you're great at that you can go and talk about. Maybe your company is unbelievable doing condo deals and underwriting condo loans. Maybe they have a phenomenal I-10 product. Maybe they have a really cool construction to perm. Maybe they're great at jumbo loans. Whatever that is, use that as your value. Use that as your talking point, and that will drive other business. To Sean's point, he talked about the things he's set up in his operation make the realtor more efficient. What would they love more than not having, at least in Texas, not having to spend another day in 108-degree heat driving their clients around to go look at listings because they didn't get the offer on the deal they put in last weekend, right? To Sean's point, he's saying, listen, if you go with me and we use my process, you're going to get those deals accepted faster. And that's what they want to hear. So there's a lot of ways to convey a value proposition to your agents. You've got to figure out what's the right one for you. And if you need help with that, that's what we're here for. And if you're in our pro group, then you can jump into a coaching call and we can help you with that. Otherwise, kind of navigate that, but really lean into that from a marketing perspective and from a strategies perspective.
Yeah. And guys, guess what? Of all of the agents I talk to, that I know at least 85% of them, I can make their lives better.
Yep.
There's a lot of radio silence. There's a lot of, yeah, and then nothing afterwards. But again, Cardinals are not having a great year this year, but it's still the best baseball franchise in history.
What, Sean? I didn't say that a little louder.
We're not having a really great year this year.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. Well. But I relate everything to baseball, at least statistic wise, because again, I'm a Cardinals fan. You get a hit 3 out of 10 times for 10 years, you go to the Hall of Fame. That's right. There is a ton of no's in there. There's a ton of radio silence. I had a great transaction with an agent, looked up their stats, saw who they sent their loans to, talked to her. She told me earlier this week, yeah, it's kind of my team lead that makes the decision. I've already reached out to the team lead twice this week. Now, those were not conversations because one was an email, one was a phone call, and I've had crickets back. But if I do have a conversation, we'll see where that goes. But there is a little bit of chasing and a fair amount of silence or rejection in order to get those conversations.
But if you think about this, Sean, and we'll end it on this note. So what? Who cares that it takes a little bit of chasing? Who cares that it takes a little bit of effort? Maybe that something doesn't get responded to, an email doesn't get returned, a phone call doesn't get a call back, or that you only get 1 out of every 3 agents that you reach out to, right? So be it. This industry affords us the opportunity to make more money than most doctors who spent a decade in school studying 12 to 15-hour days, working their hands to the bone. And here we are complaining that we have to pick up the phone and make a few phone calls. So if you're listening to this and you're thinking I don't know that I want to do that, man, either get on or get out, right? Get on the horn, make the phone calls, do what you have to do to get the deals in the door, or get out the business and let the rest of us do it. But there's no excuse. 3 phone calls a day, meaningful conversations, anybody should be able to do it.
Yeah, Kellen, I was just framing it up. Because I had lunch with a loan officer last week and he's like, man, you make it sound easy. And I'm like, it is. So what if people don't call you back? So what if you've got to call more people? The fact is it is easy. I'm not performing brain surgery. I'm not shooting a satellite into the sky and adjusting for what position the earth is in and where the rotation. I don't have to think of any of that stuff. I just have to pick up the phone and be me.
That's it.
And as long as you're you, I don't care how weird you are. There's plenty of people out there who are going to like you. I mean,
that's right. That's all right.
Look at Kellen and myself.
Yeah. I mean,
it's working for us.
We can do it. You can do it. That's for sure. Listen, becomenl.com. If you're not part of our free community, go over there, join up, sign up. It's free. You can check it out. Thank you for joining us. This is the middle of our 6-part series. So again, if you're coming in the middle, head back over, check it out, grab the first episode, join us all the way through, and we'll see you guys again soon. Thanks, everyone.
Peace out, friends.